What's the personality type of Margot Robbie? Well, I just wrapped up watching about 5 to 6 hours of old clips and interviews. In today's video, here's some interesting personality patterns I found and what I think Margot Robbie's personality type might be.
I can barely contain my excitement sometimes when we're on certain sets.
With Margot Robbie, there were two personality patterns that were especially loud and obvious right off the bat. The first being, she is super extroverted. In fact, she actually might be one of the most extroverted celebrities I've analyzed before on this channel. I noticed Margot had this knack for talking really fast, always being very enthusiastic about things, and especially about things outside of herself. The sets around her, the people around her, the experiences around her, her work. I grew up in a very loud, busy house, and so I feel actually safe and comfortable when there's just chaos around me. I think it's why I love movie sets. She hates being alone and often invites friends to hang out in her trailer between takes. Margot is clearly someone that's energized by interacting with her outside world. In comparison to other people, Margot's bandwidth for outside stimulation, getting involved and engaged with outside things, it's really high.
So I just want to stay extremely stimulated the whole time. I would always have friends like in the trailer, next thing. All right, I'm having a party, or like we're going out, or we're doing this, and poker nights. I didn't ever want to go back to my trailer and like settle. It was like 2 weeks of that energy. 2 weeks.
The second extra loud personality pattern I saw a lot with Margot Robbie is that she likes talking about things in a very clear, concrete way.
There's a massive table of anything you could possibly want. Chocolate milk, peanut M&Ms. She lives on a farm, falls in love with a German soldier since the German soldiers are occupying.
Even when she was just casually blurting things out, Margot is so good at describing things with details. And you know, you guys probably aren't able to tell because you guys end up seeing like my 50th take of things, but when I'm making these videos, it takes so much effort for me to describe what I'm noticing and thinking about with details and specifics. And so when I saw Margot just effortlessly being so clear and concrete about things, I sort of got jealous. I was like, if it was that easy for me, that would make these videos so much easier to make. Even in other contexts, I noticed Margot valued being realistic, more specific and concrete.
No one answered those questions the way Craig did. Everyone else speaks about tone. It's this intangible thing that you spend hours talking about. Well, it feels like it should be kind of like that. Craig had actual answers. In this moment, I would cut to a wide shot. I would give no music.
After seeing Margot over and over again, like looking at things and talking about things in this literally specific way, I felt pretty confident Margot's personality type had a sensing preference. Now, more specifically, what type of sensing preference? If you'd asked me my opinion after the first hour or so of clips that I saw, I was thinking Margot might be an extroverted sensor, an ESP personality type, because she kept saying things like this.
I like taking risks. What can I say? I'm a thrill seeker. If it doesn't scare the out of me, I normally don't really go for it. And you're like tired, but you still can't get off the adrenaline rush.
We're doing a scene and we're improvising and I got a bit caught up in the moment. You know, I was screaming at him and I hit him in the face. Go take a bath. And I was like,
I went and I took a giant kitchen knife and ketchup and I lay naked on the tiles outside the bathroom, covered myself in ketchup.
That sounds pretty spontaneous, right? Well, that's actually a great example of why I really like to take some extra time with things when I'm researching for these videos, because actually the more hours of clips that I saw, it became clear that while Margot does have her spontaneous moments and can be sometimes open to things or very interactive, those patterns are her just being super extroverted, not specifically extroverted sensing.
Take it till you make it. Yeah, it does go a little more in depth than that. I have a big preparation process.
I always have my script with me on set and it's filled with notes. My script is like, if I lost that, I would fall to pieces.
Turns out Margot's not someone that likes keeping things open-ended and having less structure. Instead, she's totally a planner, a judging preference personality type that likes preparing for things and having things more settled beforehand.
I like to work a lot and I like to work fast, juggling, you know, in doing press for one film whilst filming another film. Yeah, it's been crazy. Actually, technically four films since March.
Margot being an EJ personality type, it actually totally checks out and makes sense. EJ personality types naturally like managing things. They love looking outside of themselves and going, oh my gosh, there are so many things I can impact out there. I see the different needs and responsibilities out there. I want to contribute. I want to get involved. And so this makes it so that EJ personality types, they're usually constantly keeping themselves busy, like always working a lot, doing a lot, juggling all different types of plates.
Helps me keep my life and my work separate, even though they are intrinsically linked, because all I want to do is work all the time. Like, it's honestly, I never complain about it. I love it. I just want to be on set all the time.
The next personality pattern I noticed a lot with Margot Robbie is she's definitely an introverted sensor. She's someone that likes referencing back to her past experiences, concrete things that she's seen before and learned before.
Recognize potential production issues because I was looking into it in a more specific way. When I walked onto set, I've seen every location that we recce'd. I was here when we recce'd this. I was here when we picked that wallpaper. I remember the like, you know, you just...
I can't turn off that side of my brain. Like, oh, and crew parking's there, and oh, and that, and oh, we just bought a penalty. Oh, okay, we're gonna need another penalty. And I'm like calculating in my head how much this is all costing.
Margot's introverted sensing is why she's always taking account of things in detail. She loves being specific and clear about things. So whenever anything is vague or unknown, she loves taking the extra time to research things in depth, gathering all the different specifics and concrete facts about things that she can find, so that later she can go, oh, I've seen this before. I've learned this before. This is something I've really thought through and clarified beforehand.
Yeah, I do months of prep. I work with a dialect coach, a lot of character breakdown work, timeline, skills, whatever their skill set is, whatever the time period, I learn about the time period, try and come up with the poignant moments they must have lived through in their life. What happened to them when they were 8 years old? What happened to them when they were 14? When were those key moments when something shaped the person they became?
Another reason Margot likes paying attention to specifics and details is because she also has this other side of her, extroverted intuition, bubbling underneath. That likes taking the things that she knows to brainstorm new creative possibilities.
I remember asking them, I was like, do you do just this job? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, you don't do any other jobs? And they're like, no. You know, support a family and send your kids to school and pay off your mortgage just by acting. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, hey, okay, well then I want to do that.
For Margot, because of her higher extroverted intuition, unexpected possibilities can actually be really exciting and interesting to her, as long as they're not too far off from things that she's learned before with her introverted sensing.
That meant I had so many storylines to go from there, like another step, growing, and all these things kind of shaping the person she is.
There definitely is an element of luck, but it's like you have to work really, really, really hard so that there's room for luck to come in. It's like do so much hard work and so much preparation and just tee up all the potential opportunities.
The last personality pattern I noticed a lot with Margot Robbie is she uses a lot of extroverted feeling. Whenever she was expressing herself emotionally, she was never fully unfiltered or liking to bring attention to how she was feeling. Instead, I noticed Margot was always very poised, very conscious of how other people were reacting, what other social expectations were going on around her, and she knew how to fit in with that, collaborate with that really naturally.
Seemingly computer-generated perfection of young womanhood.
Wow.
Not bad, huh?
Well, they clearly haven't met me in person, but that is... Thank you for the ego boost for the day. That is exceptionally kind.
Even in other contexts, I noticed Margot loved talking about people. People being together, working together, feeling together.
2 weeks in, I'm in love with everyone and we're a big happy family and I never want it to end.
I've worked with great men in this industry, so I definitely don't ever want to make it an us versus them thing. I think we're going to be so much stronger if we stand together. And, you know, we've at our company, half men, half women, and I would say we're 100% feminist. I guess my message in all of this is that we need to stand together.
Because of her super strong extroverted feeling, one of Margot's strengths was taking care of people emotionally, knowing really well how to make other people feel supported, connected, and included with encouragement and how she expressed herself.
I just keep going and I'm like, if you want the infrastructure that you don't have right now, like come to our company if you want, produce with us, we'll develop like whatever you want to do.
Putting all these personality patterns together, super strong extroverted feeling, introverted sensing, extroverted intuition, and some introverted thinking, the fingerprint match that makes the most sense to me for Margot Robbie is that she's definitely an ESFJ personality type. If you guys are interested in some extra videos that aren't on this main channel, but that can help you better understand your personality type, I have hours and hours of bonus teaching videos and analysis videos on my new website, linked down below in the description. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. See you guys in the next ones. Peace, peace. Bye.